Welcome back to Smart Life. I'm Dr. Gina. As we talk about dealing, of course, with the latest scandal, the Islamic terrorists that have been released, we can't forget the way that most women are treated as prisoners in Islamic countries. Becca Keating has lived in the Middle East and has a unique perspective. Becca, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gina.
First question, I want an update on the Nigerian schoolgirls. Michelle Obama held up her hashtag. I thought that was all going to happen, and yet nothing's really happening, and we're not really hearing any accountability in all of this either.
Yeah, I think that's indicative of the situation, because you can't, well, or you can decide to trade 5 terrorists for the situation. So I think that's where both Britain and America don't really want to trade money or someone to get the girls back. And it's really a sticky situation, because it's not that, it's not a national or international problem for us. It's the Nigeria. It's really a sticky situation, don't you think?
Do you think she should have never entered into Michelle Obama into that dialogue on there?
Well, it's her prerogative, of course, to do so. But what could she do?
Is it bad policy? I mean, she's policy. She's the president's wife. She's setting policy. Is it bad policy? And I guess what message is it sending to countries who might do other things like that?
Exactly. I think that's really the hard part. Is here you have this situation where they captured all these little girls, and then they purport openly on the news and on the YouTubes that they want an exchange for these little girls. Mm-hmm. And so we as Americans, or Michelle Obama, steps in and goes, my heart aches for these girls. Let's do something. Okay, like what? And that's the bullying aspect of Islam, of the terrorists, mm-hmm. where they will basically say, give it to me, and here's the what I want, and this is how I want it, and when I want it. And if we bend to that, then we're going to see a lot more of it, and we're seeing already enough.
Yeah. So I mean, Psych 101 tells you if you're dealing with a client, a patient, whatever, who has a bullying issue, you don't pay them or reward them.
Exactly.
And yet on the national scale, that's precisely what we're doing.
Exactly.
And so what effect do you think all of the goings on in the last few days with this new scandal setting the 5 hand-selected terrorists free from Guantanamo Bay, mm-hmm. What do you think, what impact will that have on the violence against women around the world via Islam?
Well, there already is all of that going on, and this just enhances, to me, it will probably cause an explosion of even more domination of what they can do, what they will do. The irony of Islam in and of itself, and the Sharia law, by the way, I lived in Saudi Arabia, and we actually went over there to teach English as a second language in Jeddah, which is on the Red Sea, at King Abdulaziz University. And while there, I realized that as a woman, I could not work, I could not drive. If I wanted to go somewhere, I had to go on a bus, in the back of the bus, in a special compartment for women. And there was just time and time again where I was treated like a donkey, basically. And that's an American going into their culture. If you are in their culture, well, we asked this one taxi driver why he didn't have a wife, and he said, because I can't afford one. Oh, you have to buy your wife. And it's like, yes, of course. So that exchange of women is so degraded already, in their supposedly loving culture. It's not at all, in my estimation, it's very destructive, particularly for women. And then you add into that terrorist activity, where even for this one woman who married an American man, mm-hmm. pregnant with a baby, mm-hmm. and they want her to not, to give up her Christianity, otherwise she goes to jail. Mm-hmm. To me, that's criminal. That's so bullying, domineering, treating women not respectfully, obviously, mm-hmm. and not justly.
where's the breakdown? Where are the feminists on this? I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't hear a lot from them about we certainly don't hear them shouting from the rooftops and burning bras like they were over I guess not getting birth control and things like that in America. Yet these slaughters are taking place. I know I'm from St. Louis originally, and there was a murder of 2 young girls who their father felt had done something immoral. I think they had boyfriends, and so he killed them.
Yes.
And these kinds of stories, you barely even hear a bleep on the lamestream media news, but you also don't hear the feminists out there screaming about this very often. Starting to change just a little bit. I know with Hollywood and all of that, there's a little bit of a, I know Jay Leno's wife is one who actually gets it, but there aren't many, and even she seems to have quieted down as of recent. So what's the disconnect here?
That's a very good question, and I've wondered that all along. And I don't know. But what I felt like saying when I came back to the States is, you don't like it here? Go live someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see what it's like.
Yeah.
See what it's like to be in another culture that doesn't have that respect for a woman. And we think, well, we want equal pay and all that stuff. But you don't understand. In other cultures, if you have a baby girl, it gets killed. Girls are not important. I have a friend who made a documentary called It's a Girl, and it documents all of those things about trashing women from even birth, and what a crime that is throughout the world. Yeah, where are the feminists? Where are they?
And do they not realize that the more you usher in the erosion of our liberties through administrations like this, that you give up your gun rights, for example, there is nobody who's better friends with a gun than a woman, because it is your equalizer. It's the only thing that puts you on equal ground with an attacker of any sort.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you have to carry, but it means, for crying out loud, don't take away my right to carry to protect you and your daughter, by the way.
Yes, yes.
And so I don't understand why women don't get this, why they don't listen to the messages, and why they continue to let this administration and others really run roughshod over our liberties.
Yeah, it is a puzzling thing, and I don't know if it's their main ideology of, I get the idea that, or the feeling that a lot of the women feminists really are trying to be men. And if that, rather than being a feminine woman who is smart, who is capable, who can achieve, who is...
So maybe they just better identify with the men to begin with.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And so it's an oddity to me, and to not come up and say, I want to defend those women abroad that are being purchased, that are being killed.
Stoned?
Yeah, stoned, beheaded, raped. There's over 100 cases of mercy killings in London alone.
Wow.
And it's because those fathers just think, well, like you said, they've gone out on a date, or they've done something, and so...
We have to wrap, but I just thank you so much for being with us.